Hi, I'm Lene Tate with the Marriage Recovery Center. Thanks for joining me today. I want to talk for a moment about the choices we make about how to respond to our partners in a conversation, and especially when the conversation involves conflict. So imagine that you and your partner are standing close together like this, and you're in the middle of this conversation. And they've said something, and now it's your turn to respond. And especially if what they've said has aroused some sort of, strong emotion in you, anger, fear, anxiety, you name it, we often tend to respond kind of out of that emotion. And we often tend to respond kind of quickly, just sort of, blurt out whatever it is that we're feeling in the moment. And while it's not bad at all to use your emotion to help guide your communication, there is a thing that you really need to consider in the midst of that. You know as well as I do that conversations feed off of one another, and that conversations create an atmosphere in the room. So let's say that your partner has said something kind of snarly, and the temptation in you is sort of to respond back in kind because that's the atmosphere that's been created. The question that I want you to think of is this: whatever sentence comes out of my mouth next, will its result be to take the two of us further apart or closer together? Because the truth is that if I respond in a way that drives us further apart, now I've doubled or tripled, quadrupled or worse, the amount of space we've got to close to come back together again. I can't control my partner's choice about that. They can choose to take themselves further or not, but I can control my part in that. And so I have to be really cognizant how what I'm about to say will affect the path that the conversation takes, how it will affect the other person's emotional responsiveness in the conversation. I don't want to make it harder for them to stay engaged. I don't want to make it harder for them to tell me what they need to tell me. Whatever my response is needs to be such that it invites resolution. It invites us staying together in this until we get to the other side of whatever it is we're working our way through. So that's my recommendation to you, that you kind of have in your mind just this simple graphic of two lines close together that really need to stay in close proximity in order to work something out and have an effective relationship. And then to measure your words against that. Will your words cause those lines to go farther apart, or at least to remain the same, if not closer together, so that can be a guide for your responses. Thanks for joining. You'll see shortly a phone number at the bottom of the screen there. If you decide that you would like to talk about what I've just said, or how you communicate in your relationships, or anything else for that matter, feel free to call the number below, and they'll get you hooked up with me. Thanks. Hoping to hear from you. Bye-bye.